Today, I'm here to talk about something that affects us all, yet is often shrouded in mystery: money. Specifically, I'm diving into the untold truth about money, how to build wealth from nothing. Whether you're starting with empty pockets or just looking to rethink your financial future, this is for you. Let's start with a hard truth. Money isn't just currency. It's a tool, a mindset, and a system. The wealthy don't just have money, they understand how it works. And the good news: you don't need a big inheritance or a fancy degree to build wealth. The journey to building wealth from nothing begins with a fundamental shift in how you perceive money, its opportunities, and your potential. Adopting a wealth mindset is not about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It's about cultivating a belief system that empowers you to take control of your financial destiny. This mindset is rooted in the conviction that wealth is achievable through effort, learning, and persistence, regardless of your starting point. Unlike a scarcity mindset, which fixates on limitations and fears, a wealth mindset opens your eyes to possibilities and equips you to act on them. It's the foundation upon which all other wealth-building strategies rest. A wealth mindset starts with self-belief. Many people grow up hearing that wealth is reserved for the lucky, the privileged, or the exceptionally talented. These narratives can create mental barriers that stifle ambition. To break free, you must internalize that you are capable of learning the skills needed to generate and manage wealth. No one is born a financial expert. Billionaires, investors, and entrepreneurs all started somewhere. By trusting in your ability to grow, you set the stage for taking risks, seeking knowledge, and persisting through setbacks. This belief transforms "I can't" into "I'll learn how." Seeing opportunities where others see obstacles is another hallmark of a wealth mindset. Consider someone with limited funds. A scarcity mindset might focus on what they lack, lamenting, "I can't afford to invest." A wealth mindset, however, asks, "How can I create value to earn more?" Or, "What small step can I take today?" This perspective might lead to starting a low-cost side hustle, learning a high-demand skill like digital marketing, or investing $10 in a micro-investing app. By reframing challenges as opportunities, you train your brain to spot pathways to wealth that others overlook. Embracing challenges as growth opportunities is critical to this mindset. Building wealth is rarely a straight line. It's filled with failures, market downturns, and unexpected hurdles. Those with a wealth mindset view these setbacks as lessons, not defeats. For example, if a small business venture doesn't succeed, they analyze what went wrong, adjust their strategy, and try again. This resilience is what separates those who give up from those who eventually succeed. Each failure is a stepping stone, refining your skills and judgment for the next attempt. A wealth mindset also prioritizes long-term thinking over short-term gratification. Society often glorifies instant wealth. Think lottery winners or viral influencers. But true wealth is built through consistent, deliberate choices over time. This means valuing future financial freedom over fleeting pleasures, like skipping a $5 daily coffee to save $1,800 a year. Long-term thinking helps you resist the temptation of get-rich-quick schemes, which often prey on impatience. Instead, you focus on strategies like investing early or building a business, knowing that small actions compound into significant results. Your environment plays a pivotal role in shaping your mindset. Surrounding yourself with people who embody a wealth mindset, those who are ambitious, financially literate, or successful, can transform your perspective. Their habits, language, and priorities influence how you think about money. For instance, a friend who invests regularly might inspire you to start, while a mentor who built a business can share practical insights. Conversely, spending time with those who dwell on scarcity or negativity can drag you down. Curate your circle intentionally to align with your goals. Continuous learning is a cornerstone of a wealth mindset. The wealthy don't rely on static knowledge. They invest in themselves relentlessly. This could mean reading books like The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley, listening to podcasts on personal finance, or taking online courses in skills like coding or negotiation. Every piece of knowledge builds your confidence and equips you to make informed decisions. Even 15 minutes a day spent learning about budgeting, investing, or entrepreneurship can compound into a deep understanding over months and years. A wealth mindset rejects the fear of risk that often accompanies a scarcity mindset. While reckless gambles are unwise, calculated risks, like starting a side hustle, investing in the stock market, or pitching a business idea, are essential for growth. The key is to balance risk with research. For example, before investing, study the basics of index funds or consult a financial advisor. By approaching risks with preparation rather than paralysis, you open doors to opportunities that can significantly accelerate your wealth-building journey. Gratitude and abundance thinking are subtle but powerful components of a wealth mindset. Instead of fixating on what you lack, focus on what you have, whether it's time, skills, or a small amount of savings. Gratitude shifts your perspective from scarcity to possibility, making you more likely to take action. For instance, appreciating that you have a stable job might motivate you to use your income strategically, like paying off debt or investing, rather than feeling trapped by it. Abundance thinking fuels creativity and optimism, both of which are vital for spotting and seizing opportunities. Discipline in thought patterns is another critical aspect. Negative self-talk, like "I'll never be good with money," can sabotage your efforts. A wealth mindset requires catching and reframing these thoughts. For example, replace "I can't afford that" with "How can I make that possible?" This shift encourages problem solving and action. Journaling or mindfulness practices can help you identify limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. Over time, these new thought patterns become second nature, guiding your financial decisions. Taking responsibility for your financial future is non-negotiable. A wealth mindset means recognizing that no one, not your employer, government, or family, is obligated to secure your wealth. This can feel daunting, but it's also liberating. It puts you in the driver's seat, empowering you to make choices that align with your goals. Whether it's creating a budget, negotiating a raise, or starting a business, owning your journey builds confidence and momentum. Blaming external circumstances while tempting keeps you stuck. Responsibility sets you free. Finally, a wealth mindset is about action, not just thinking. Beliefs alone won't build wealth. Consistent, intentional steps will. This might mean setting a goal to save $50 a month, researching a side hustle, or opening an investment account today. Each action reinforces your mindset, creating a virtuous cycle. Belief fuels action, and progress strengthens belief. The beauty of a wealth mindset is that it's accessible to anyone, at any income level, at any time. It's not about where you start, it's about choosing to see the world through a lens of possibility and committing to the journey. The common misconception that a high income automatically leads to wealth is one of the biggest barriers to financial success. Income is simply the money you earn, whether from a job, side hustle, or business. Wealth, however, is what you keep, grow and leverage over time to achieve financial security and freedom. Many high earners live paycheck to paycheck, trapped by lifestyle inflation or poor financial habits. Understanding that income does not equal wealth is a critical mindset shift for anyone starting from nothing, as it redirects focus from earning more to managing and growing what you have. The first step in separating income from wealth is recognizing that wealth is about net worth, not salary. Your net worth is the total value of your assets, savings, investments, property, minus your liabilities, like debt. Someone earning $200,000 a year, but spending it all on luxury cars, vacations, or an oversized mortgage, has no wealth if their net worth is zero or negative. Conversely, someone earning $40,000 but saving and investing diligently can build significant wealth over time. This distinction empowers you to prioritize decisions that increase your assets and reduce your liabilities. Living below your means is the cornerstone of turning income into wealth. No matter how much you earn, spending less than you make creates a surplus that can be saved or invested. For example, if you earn $3,000 a month and spend $2,500, you have $500 to allocate toward wealth building. This principle applies whether you earn $30,000 or $300,000 a year. The key is to resist the urge to inflate your lifestyle as your income grows, a trap known as lifestyle creep, where new earnings are quickly absorbed by bigger houses, fancier cars, or more expensive habits. Saving is the first actionable step to convert income into wealth. A high income provides no security if it's not preserved. Start by building an emergency fund, ideally 3 to 6 months of living expenses, to protect against unexpected setbacks like job loss or medical bills. For someone starting from nothing, even saving $10 a week in a high-yield savings account is a start. Over time, these small savings accumulate, providing a foundation for further wealth building through investments. The habit of saving consistently, no matter the amount, trains you to prioritize wealth over consumption. Investing is where saved income transforms into wealth. While saving preserves money, investing grows it. Even modest investments in low-cost, diversified vehicles like index funds can yield significant returns over time due to compound interest. For instance, investing $100 a month at an 8% annual return could grow to over $150,000 in 30 years. You don't need a high income to start. Modern platforms allow investing with as little as $1. The key is to start early and stay consistent, letting time and market growth amplify your efforts. Debt management is critical in the income-to-wealth equation. High interest debt, like credit card balances with 20% plus APRA, erodes your ability to save and invest. Every dollar paid in interest is a dollar that could have been building wealth. Prioritize paying off high-interest debt using strategies like the debt avalanche method, where you tackle the highest interest debt first while making minimum payments on others. By reducing debt, you free up more of your income to save and invest, accelerating your path to wealth. Budgeting is a powerful tool to ensure your income supports wealth building. A budget isn't about restriction. It's about aligning your spending with your goals. Track every dollar to understand where your money goes, then redirect excess towards savings or investments. For example, cutting $100 a month from dining out can be invested in a retirement account. Tools like budgeting apps or simple spreadsheets can make this process easier. Even low earners can build wealth by budgeting strategically, ensuring every dollar serves a purpose. Frugality complements living below your means by maximizing your surplus. This doesn't mean living like a pauper, but making intentional choices to avoid waste. For instance, brewing coffee at home instead of buying a $5 latte daily saves over $1,800 a year. That money, invested at a 7% return, could grow to $30,000 in 20 years. Frugality isn't about deprivation. It's about valuing your future wealth over temporary conveniences. Over temporary conveniences. Small, mindful cuts in spending can have outsized impacts over time. Diversifying income streams enhances your ability to build wealth beyond a single paycheck. Relying solely on one income source is risky and limits your savings potential. Side hustles, freelancing, or small businesses can generate extra cash to save or invest. For example, driving for a rideshare service a few hours a week might add $200 a month, which can be directed to an investment account. Diversifying income not only boosts your surplus, but also builds resilience against economic uncertainties. The psychological aspect of income versus wealth cannot be ignored. Society often equates high earnings with success, leading many to spend to project an image of wealth rather than building actual wealth. This trap can be avoided by redefining success as financial independence, having enough assets to live without relying on a paycheck. Focus on what brings long-term security, like growing your investment portfolio, rather than external validation through spending. This mindset shift helps you channel income toward wealth-building goals. Time is a critical factor in converting income into wealth. The earlier you start saving and investing, the more time your money has to grow. For example, a 25-year-old investing $200 a month at an 8% return could have over $600,000 by age 65, while someone starting at 35 would have less than half that amount with the same contributions. Even if your income is low, starting small and early maximizes the power of compounding, making time a more valuable asset than a high salary. Finally, discipline ties all these principles together. Converting income into wealth requires consistent, intentional actions, sticking to a budget, saving regularly, investing wisely, and avoiding lifestyle inflation. Discipline means saying no to impulsive purchases and yes to long-term goals. It's about making choices today that your future self will thank you for, like investing $50 a month instead of buying new gadgets. Over time, these disciplined habits turn income into lasting wealth, regardless of how much you earn. High-interest debt, such as credit card balances or predatory loans, is one of the most insidious obstacles to building wealth from nothing. These debts, often carrying annual percentage rates, APRA of 20% or higher, drain your income, leaving little room for saving or investing. Every dollar paid in interest is a dollar that could have been growing your wealth. Eliminating high-interest debt is like plugging a leak in a sinking ship. It's not glamorous, but it's essential to stay afloat and move toward financial freedom. Understanding the urgency of this step is critical for anyone starting their wealth-building journey. The mechanics of high-interest debt make it particularly destructive. Unlike low-interest debt, such as a mortgage with a 3% rate, high-interest debt compounds rapidly against you. For example, a $5,000 credit card balance at a 22% EPRA can accrue over $1,100 in interest annually if you only make minimum payments. Over years, you could end up paying double or triple the original amount borrowed without reducing the principal significantly. This cycle traps many people, especially those with limited income, in a state of financial stagnation, making it impossible to build wealth until the debt is addressed. Prioritizing high-interest debt repayment is a strategic choice that yields immediate financial benefits. And by focusing on these debts first, you reduce the total interest paid over time, freeing up more of your income for wealth-building activities like saving or investing. Think of debt repayment as an investment in your future. Paying off a 20% APR credit card is equivalent to earning a guaranteed 20% return on your money, a rate unmatched by most investments. This perspective shifts debt repayment from a burden to a powerful wealth-building tool. One effective strategy for tackling high-interest debt is the debt avalanche method. This approach involves listing all your debts and focusing extra payments on the one with the highest interest rate while making minimum payments on the others. For instance, if you have a $3,000 credit card at 25% APRA and a $10,000 student loan at 6%, you'd direct any surplus income toward the credit card first. Once it's paid off, you roll those payments into the next highest interest debt. This method minimizes total interest paid, accelerating your path to debt freedom. An alternative approach is the debt snowball method, which prioritizes paying off the smallest debt first, regardless of interest rate, to build psychological momentum. While less mathematically efficient than the avalanche method, the quick wins can motivate you to stay committed. For example, paying off a $500 store card before tackling a $4,000 credit card balance can provide a sense of progress. The key is to choose a method that aligns with your personality and financial discipline, ensuring you stick with it long term. Increasing your income is another powerful way to eliminate high-interest debt faster. Even a modest side hustle, like freelancing or delivering food, can add $200, $500 a month to your debt repayment efforts. For someone with a $10,000 credit card balance at 20% APRA, an extra $300 monthly payment could shave years off the repayment timeline and save thousands in interest. Directing all additional income toward high-interest debt amplifies your progress, turning small efforts into significant financial gains. Cutting expenses is equally important to free up money for debt repayment. Scrutinize your budget for non-essential spending, subscriptions, dining out, or impulse purchases, and redirect those funds to your debt. For example, cancelling a $15 streaming service and brewing coffee at home instead of buying a $4 latte daily saves over $1,400 a year. These savings, applied to a 22% APRA credit card, can significantly reduce your balance. Frugality in this context isn't about sacrifice. It's about prioritizing your financial freedom over temporary conveniences. Negotiating with creditors can also reduce the burden of high-interest debt. Many credit card companies are willing to lower your interest rate or offer a settlement if you demonstrate a commitment to repayment. For instance, calling your lender to explain financial hardship might result in a temporary rate reduction from 24% to 15%, saving hundreds in interest. Alternatively, a debt management plan through a non-profit credit counseling agency can consolidate payments and negotiate lower rates, making repayment more manageable. Avoiding new high-interest debt is critical to prevent backsliding. Once you start paying down balances, resist the temptation to use credit cards for non-emergencies. Build an emergency fund, even if it's just $500, to cover unexpected expenses like car repairs or medical bills. This buffer prevents reliance on credit breaking the cycle of borrowing that fuels high-interest debt. If you must use a credit card, pay the balance in full each month to avoid interest entirely. Finally, tracking your progress keeps you motivated and focused. Aimless. Use a spreadsheet or debt repayment app to monitor your declining balances and calculate interest savings. For example, seeing a $6,000 credit card balance drop to $4,500 in 6 months reinforces the impact of your efforts. Celebrate milestones like paying off a card to maintain momentum. Visualizing your debt shrinking and your financial freedom growing transforms the process from daunting to empowering, keeping you committed to eliminating high-interest debt as a foundational step to. One major trap is chasing hot trends or get-rich-quick schemes, like speculative stocks or cryptocurrencies promoted on social media. These often lead to losses, especially for inexperienced investors. For someone with no initial capital, these accounts are a powerful way to leverage time and tax benefits simultaneously. Patience is a critical mindset for leveraging time effectively. Wealth building is a long For someone starting with little to no resources, diversifying income is a powerful way to accelerate wealth building by generating surplus funds to save, invest, or pay off debt. The first benefit of multiple income streams is financial security. If one source of income, such as a primary job, is lost, other streams can act as a safety net. For example, a part-time gig delivering food or freelancing online can provide $200, $500 a month, enough to cover essentials during a job transition. This buffer reduces stress and prevents the need to dip into savings or take on high-interest debt, keeping your wealth-building efforts on track. Diversification ensures that no single setback derails your financial progress. Side hustles are one of the most accessible ways to diversify income, especially for those starting from nothing. Platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, or TaskRabbit allow you to monetize skills such as writing, graphic design. For instance, spending 10 hours a week freelance writing at $20 per hour can generate $800 a month. This extra income can be directed toward paying off credit card debt or funding an investment account, compounding your wealth over time. Creating a small business, even on a micro scale, is another way to diversify income. You don't need a large investment to start. For example, selling handmade crafts on Etsy or reselling thrifted items on eBay can generate a few $100s a month with little startup capital. Over time, these ventures can scale into larger enterprises. A small business not only adds income, but also builds entrepreneurial skills, which are invaluable for long-term wealth creation. Passive income streams, though often requiring initial effort, are a powerful way to diversify. These include investments like dividend-paying stocks or real estate crowdfunding, which generate income with minimal ongoing work. For someone with limited funds, starting small, such as investing $100 in a dividend stock yielding 3% annually, can produce a modest but growing stream of income. Reinvesting these earnings into additional investments leverages time to create exponential growth, a key advantage for wealth building. Renting out assets is another accessible way to diversify income without significant capital. If you own a car, you could rent it out through platforms like Turo, potentially earning $200, $500 a month depending on demand. Alternatively, renting out a spare room on Airbnb or even unused storage space can generate extra cash. These methods turn existing assets into income streams, allowing you to build wealth without relying solely on active work. Developing high-demand skills can lead to lucrative side income, especially in fields like technology, marketing, or finance. For example, learning to code through free resources like Codecademy can lead to freelance programming gigs paying $30, $50 per hour. Even a few hours a week can add thousands to your annual income. For someone starting from nothing, investing time in skill building is a low-cost way to create income streams that grow with expertise. Monetizing hobbies is an often overlooked strategy for diversifying income. If you enjoy photography, baking, or fitness coaching, you can turn these passions into income sources. For instance, offering photography services for events or selling homemade baked goods locally can bring in $100, $300 a month. These ventures not only generate income, but also make the process enjoyable, increasing the likelihood that you'll stick with it long term. Online content creation is a modern avenue for diversifying income, accessible to those with minimal resources to raise. Starting a blog, YouTube channel, or podcast on a topic you're knowledgeable about can eventually generate revenue through ads, sponsorships, or affiliate marketing. While building an audience takes time, even a small following can earn $50, $200 a month through affiliate links. With persistence, this can grow into a significant income stream, leveraging low-cost tools like a smartphone or laptop. Investing in financial education enhances your ability to diversify income effectively. Understanding how to identify profitable side hustles, evaluate investment opportunities, or manage a small business ensures your efforts are sustainable. Resources like books, The Side Hustle by Chris Guillebeau, or free online courses can teach you how to spot opportunities and avoid scams. For someone starting from nothing, knowledge is a low-cost investment that amplifies the impact of every income stream. Balancing time and energy is crucial when diversifying income. While multiple streams are beneficial, overextending yourself can lead to burnout, reducing the effectiveness of your efforts. Start with 1 or 2 side hustles that align with your skills and schedule, such as tutoring for a few hours a week or selling digital products online. As you gain experience and confidence, you can add more streams, ensuring each is manageable and contributes to your wealth-building goals. Finally, directing diversified income toward wealth building is what makes this strategy powerful. Extra income from a side hustle or passive investment should be allocated strategically, paying off high-interest debt, building an emergency fund, or investing in a retirement account. For example, $300 a month from a part-time gig invested at a 7% return could grow to over $150,000 in 25 years. By channeling additional income into wealth-building vehicles, you leverage diversification to create lasting financial security. Investing in knowledge is one of the most powerful and accessible ways to build wealth from nothing, as it equips you with the tools to make informed financial decisions and seize opportunities. Unlike material assets, knowledge is a resource anyone can acquire, regardless of their starting point. By dedicating time to learning about personal finance, investing, entrepreneurship, or high-demand skills, you create a compounding effect similar to financial investments. For someone with limited resources, knowledge becomes the cornerstone of wealth building, transforming potential into action. Financial literacy is the first area where investing in knowledge pays off. Understanding concepts like budgeting, compound interest, debt management, and investing is essential for turning small amounts of money into significant wealth. For example, learning how to create a budget can help you save $100 a month, which, when invested at an 8% return, could grow to over $50,000 in 30 years. Free resources like blogs, podcasts, or books such as Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki provide foundational knowledge that empowers you to manage money effectively. Beyond personal finance, learning high-demand skills can directly increase your earning potential. Fields like coding, digital marketing, or data analysis are accessible through affordable or free online courses on platforms like Coursera, edX, or Codecademy. For instance, spending 3 months learning basic web development could lead to freelance gigs paying $30, $50 per hour. For someone starting from nothing, these skills translate into side hustles or career advancements that generate surplus income for saving and investing. Continuous learning keeps you adaptable in a rapidly changing economy. Industries evolve, and new opportunities emerge in areas like artificial intelligence, renewable energy, or e-commerce. By staying curious and investing time in understanding these trends, you position yourself to capitalize on them. For example, learning about e-commerce could inspire you to start a dropshipping business with minimal upfront costs, creating an income stream that grows over time. Knowledge ensures you're not left behind as the world shifts. Reading books is a low-cost, high-impact way to invest in knowledge. Classic personal finance books like The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley or Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin offer insights into the habits of the wealthy and practical steps for financial independence. Even dedicating 15 minutes a day to reading can build a deep understanding of wealth-building principles over months. Libraries and free ebooks make this accessible to anyone, regardless of financial constraints. Podcasts and online content provide another avenue for learning, especially for those with busy schedules. Shows like The Dave Ramsey Show or Choose FI cover topics from debt repayment to early retirement strategies, often featuring real stories of people building wealth from nothing. Listening during a commute or while doing chores turns idle time into an opportunity for growth. Many of these resources are free, making them ideal for someone starting with no capital. Online courses and certifications offer structured learning paths for both financial literacy and professional skills. Platforms like Udemy or Khan Academy provide affordable courses on topics like stock market investing, budgeting, or even advanced skills like machine learning. For example, a $15 course on financial planning can teach you how to optimize a Roth IRA, potentially saving thousands in taxes over decades. Investing a small amount in education yields outsized returns by enhancing your ability to earn and manage money. Learning from others' experiences accelerates your progress. Engaging with mentors, joining online communities, or attending free webinars connects you with people who've successfully built wealth. For instance, a mentor who started a small business can share pitfalls to avoid, saving you time and money. Online forums like Reddit's Our Personnel Finance or Boggleheads offer peer advice and real-world insights. These connections make knowledge acquisition collaborative and practical. Investing in knowledge also means learning to negotiate, a skill that directly impacts your wealth. Whether negotiating a salary, freelance rates, or lower interest rates on debt, this skill can save or earn you thousands. For example, negotiating a $5,000 raise on a $50,000 salary increases your lifetime earnings significantly if invested wisely. Books like Never Split the Difference by Chris Ios or free online tutorials can teach you negotiation tactics, making this a high-return area of study. Experimentation is a form of learning that complements formal education. Trying a small side hustle, like selling digital templates online, teaches you about marketing, customer demand, and cash flow without risking much. These real-world lessons refine your understanding of business and money management. For someone starting from nothing, low-risk experiments, such as starting a blog for $10 a month, provide practical knowledge that textbooks can't replicate. Staying disciplined in your learning habits maximizes the benefits of investing in knowledge. Set aside dedicated time each week, such as an hour every Sunday, to study a new financial concept or skill. Treat this time as non-negotiable, like a meeting with your future self. Over months, this consistent effort builds a robust knowledge base that informs every financial decision, from budgeting to choosing investments. Finally, applying what you learn is critical to turning knowledge into wealth. Reading about investing is useless if you don't open a brokerage account, or understanding budgeting won't help if you don't track your spending. For example, after learning about index funds, investing $25 a month in an S&P 500 fund starts the wealth-building process. Knowledge is the spark, but action fueled by that knowledge is what transforms your financial future. Especially when starting from zero, budgeting with purpose is not about restriction or deprivation. It's about taking control of your money to align every dollar with your wealth-building goals. For someone starting from nothing, a purposeful budget is a roadmap that transforms limited resources into opportunities for saving, investing, and debt repayment. By tracking and directing your spending intentionally, you ensure that even a modest income contributes to long-term financial security. Budgeting empowers you to make conscious choices, turning chaos into clarity and scarcity into possibility. The first step in purposeful budgeting is understanding where your money goes. Many people spend without awareness, letting small purchases, like daily takeout or unused subscriptions, erode their income. Tracking every expense for a month using a notebook or an app like Untold, You Need a Budget, or Mint reveals patterns. For example, Discovering you spend $200 a month on dining out can prompt you to redirect that money toward paying off a credit card or starting an investment account. This clarity is the foundation of a budget that builds wealth. A purposeful budget prioritizes your goals. A purposeful budget prioritizes your goals over impulsive spending. Define what wealth means to you, whether it's paying off $5,000 in debt, building a $1,000 emergency fund, or investing $50 a month. Then, allocate your income to those priorities first. For instance, if you earn $2,000 a month, you might dedicate $300 to debt repayment, $100 to savings, and the rest to essentials like rent and groceries. This approach, often called a paying yourself first, ensures your financial goals take precedence over non-essential expenses. The 50-30-20 rule is a simple framework for purposeful budgeting, especially for beginners. Allocate 50% of your income to necessities, housing, utilities, food, 30% to wants, entertainment, dining out, and 20% to financial goals, savings, investments, debt repayment. For someone earning $1,500 a month, this means $750 for needs, $450 for wants, and $300 for wealth building. Adjusting these percentages based on your income and goals makes the budget flexible yet focused, ideal for those starting from nothing. Zero-based budgeting is another powerful method where every dollar of income is assigned a purpose, leaving no money unaccounted for. If you earn $2,500 a month, you allocate exact amounts to rent, groceries, debt payments, savings, and even small treats until the total reaches $2,500. This forces intentionality, preventing money from slipping through the cracks. For example, assigning $50 to a Roth IRA each month ensures consistent investing even on a tight budget. Technology simplifies purposeful budgeting, making it accessible for anyone. Free apps like PocketGuard or GoodBudget categorize your spending and provide real-time insights. For instance, linking your bank account to an app can show you spend $150 a month on subscriptions, prompting you to cancel unused ones. These tools also set spending limits for categories, helping you stay on track. For someone with no financial cushion, technology reduces the effort needed to maintain a disciplined budget. Regularly reviewing and adjusting your budget is crucial to keep it aligned with your goals. Life changes, rent increases, new side hustles, or unexpected expenses require flexibility. Set aside time monthly to evaluate your budget's effectiveness. For example, if you spent $100 over your grocery budget, adjust by cutting entertainment spending next month. This habit ensures your budget remains a living tool, guiding your money toward wealth building rather than reacting to circumstances. Cutting unnecessary expenses is a key component of purposeful budgeting. Identify e-leaks in your spending, like frequent impulse buys or premium subscriptions you rarely use. For instance, cancelling a $15 monthly streaming service and brewing coffee at home instead of spending $4 daily saves over $1,400 a year. Redirecting these savings to a high-yield savings account or investment fund directly fuels wealth growth, proving that small changes have a big impact over time. These savings, though small individually, accumulate into hundreds of dollars annually, which can be invested or used to pay off high-interest debt, accelerating your path to financial security. Housing, often the largest expense, offers significant opportunities for frugality. Choosing a more affordable apartment, sharing rent with roommates, or relocating to a lower-cost area can save thousands yearly. For example, opting for a $900 a month apartment instead of a $1,200 one frees up $3,600 a year. For someone with no initial capital, this surplus can fund an emergency savings account or a Roth IRA, leveraging time to grow wealth substantially. Transportation is another area where frugality can yield big wins. Instead of financing a new car with a $400 monthly payment, buying a reliable used car for $5,000 cash saves $4,800 a year in payments and interest. Alternatively, using public transit, biking, or carpooling for work can reduce commuting costs significantly. These choices not only save money but also reduce associated costs like insurance and maintenance, allowing you to redirect funds toward wealth-building priorities. Frugality encourages creativity in finding low-cost or free alternatives to expensive habits. Instead of dining out, hosting potlucks with friends maintains social connections while saving $50, $100 per meal. Similarly, exploring free community resources like libraries for books and movies or parks for exercise replaces costly entertainment. For someone starting from nothing, these alternatives preserve income while fostering a fulfilling lifestyle. Proving frugality doesn't mean sacrificing joy. Shopping smarter is a key frugal habit, focusing on value over brand names or trends. Buying clothes at thrift stores, waiting for sales, or using cashback apps like Rakuten can stretch your dollar further. For instance, purchasing $100 worth of quality second-hand clothing. These savings, when consistently applied to investments or debt repayment, compound over time, building wealth from modest beginnings. Negotiating bills and services is a frugal strategy that directly boosts your surplus. Calling your internet or phone provider to request a lower rate or switching to a cheaper plan can save $10, $50 a month. For example, reducing a $100 cable bill to $60 frees up $480 a year. For someone with limited income, these savings can be directed toward a brokerage account, where even small contributions grow significantly over decades. Frugality also involves resisting lifestyle inflation, the tendency to increase spending as income rises. Many people fall into this trap, upgrading cars or homes unnecessarily, which consumes potential wealth-building funds. Committing to live below your means, even after a raise, preserves surplus income. For instance, if a $5,000 raise is invested at 7% annually rather than spent, it could grow to over $40,000 in 20 years. This discipline is crucial for those starting from nothing. Do-it-yourself, DIY, approaches amplify frugality by reducing reliance on paid services. Learning basic skills like cooking, minor home repairs, or grooming can save hundreds annually. For example, preparing meals at home instead of ordering takeout 3 times a week at $15 each saves $23–40 a year. These savings, when allocated to a diversified investment portfolio, harness the power of compounding to build wealth over time. Tracking the impact of frugal choices reinforces the habit and keeps you motivated. Use a spreadsheet or budgeting app to calculate savings from frugal actions, like cutting $150 a month from entertainment. Seeing these savings grow, perhaps $1,800 in a year, highlights their contribution to your financial goals, such as paying off a $3,000 credit card. For someone starting from zero, this visibility transforms frugality from a chore into a rewarding strategy for wealth building. Building a strong network is a critical yet often overlooked strategy for creating wealth from nothing, as the people you surround yourself with shape your mindset, opportunities, and financial success. A network of inspiring, knowledgeable, and driven individuals can provide guidance, open doors, and motivate you to pursue your goals. For someone starting with no financial resources, relationships are a currency that can unlock access to knowledge, resources, and opportunities that would otherwise be out of reach. Cultivating a strong network is about intentional connection, not just casual socializing. The influence of your network on your mindset cannot be overstated. Surrounding yourself with people who embody a wealth-building mindset, those who are disciplined, optimistic, and proactive, helps you adopt similar habits. For example, a friend who invests regularly in index funds might encourage you to start with just $10 a month, demystifying the process. Conversely, spending time with individuals who dwell on scarcity or overspend can reinforce limiting behaviors. Choosing a network that aligns with your financial aspirations is a deliberate step toward wealth. Mentors are a cornerstone of a strong network, offering real-world insights and guidance. A mentor who has built wealth, whether through entrepreneurship or investing, can share practical strategies and warn you about pitfalls. For instance, a small business owner might teach you how to negotiate better rates with suppliers, saving you hundreds when starting a side hustle. Finding mentors doesn't require wealth. It can start with reaching out to a colleague, attending a free seminar, or even emailing someone whose work you admire. Professional networks, such as industry associations or local business groups, provide access to like-minded individuals and opportunities. Joining a chamber of commerce or a trade organization, even as a beginner, connects you with people who can offer advice or collaboration. For example, attending a monthly meetup for entrepreneurs might lead to a partnership that turns a side hustle into a profitable venture. These networks are often accessible through low-cost or free events, making them ideal for someone starting from nothing. Online communities have democratized access to strong networks, allowing you to connect with wealth builders worldwide. Platforms like Reddit's are financial independence, bigger pockets for real estate, or LinkedIn groups for professionals offer forums to ask questions, share ideas, and learn from others' successes and mistakes. Engaging in these communities, perhaps by asking for feedback on a budget or investment plan, provides free knowledge and encouragement, critical for those with limited resources.